was in this Pimp C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it. But if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they had to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
Anyone who was in Houston when the infamous rumors of a Pimp C tape began circulating knows exactly who they were talking about. Drum roll, please, the one and only Beyonce. But shockingly, that is not even the darkest part of this story. As the Epstein files continue to dominate headlines, Beyonce's name has surfaced repeatedly. With over 3 million explosive files still waiting to be unsealed, insiders claim these documents hold chilling details about prominent figures who suddenly and mysteriously dropped dead, allegedly including hip-hop legend Pimp C.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough? You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston?
Based on everything spilling out behind closed doors, Beyonce's fiercely protected, racy past is about to be violently dragged into the spotlight.
She's a brilliant musician, and she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started all the girls.
At this point, the public is refusing to buy the narrative that Beyoncé and Jay-Z could be deeply entrenched in business and friendship with industry monsters, attending their exclusive parties and securing countless deals, without being completely complicit, or at least fully aware, of the horrific illegal activities moguls like Diddy are currently accused of. Frankly, it wouldn't be surprising in the slightest if both Jay-Z and Beyoncé are ultimately subpoenaed to take the stand. In Beyoncé's case, speculation is running rampant that she was fully aware of this alleged trafficking network. We are talking about deep buried secrets, everything from her true age when she first started dating Jay-Z to whispers of her participating in intimate freak-off style activities. And guys, this is exactly where Pimp C and the infamous and alleged tape come into play. Let's rewind for some crucial background. Back in 1992, Pimp C signed to Jive Records alongside Bun B to form the iconic duo UGK, dropping their major label debut, Too Hard to Swallow. The group skyrocketed to national superstardom in 2000 after laying down legendary verses on Jay-Z's massive hit, Big Pimpin', which dominated the Billboard Hot 100 and completely took over the radio. However, the duo eventually went on hiatus during the early 2000s, with both artists shifting focus to their solo careers. Tragically, in December 2007, on Jay-Z's birthday of all days, Pimp C was found dead in his hotel room. The official coroner's report attributed his sudden passing to complications from heavy lean consumption, mixed with his pre-existing sleep apnea. Here is the timeline. Pimp had been staying at the Mondrian Hotel in West Hollywood, grinding in the studio and performing alongside Too Short. He was scheduled to fly home on the morning of December 4th, where his wife and cousin were waiting at the airport to pick him up. When he missed his flight and went totally radio silent, his panicked wife called the hotel, begging them to check his room. Staff ultimately discovered Pimp C unresponsive, and paramedics pronounced him dead shortly after. But baby, here is where the narrative takes a terrifying turn. According to DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia, Pimp's manager vividly described a chilling scene. He claimed Pimp's body was positioned as if he were kneeling in prayer. But there was blood, indicating he had likely suffered a severe blow to the head. DJ Paul noted that the candles in the room had burned completely down to the wax, suggesting Pimp had been dead for at least a day, as he routinely lit them before falling asleep. Even rap veteran Too Short publicly expressed severe doubts about the official story. He told Hip Hop DX, "I can't believe it's been 10 years, and to this day, I have never been able to accept the circumstances of his death." Let's be real. There are far too many weird situations where celebrities are found mysteriously deceased, alone in random hotel rooms. It always feels incredibly sketchy, making you wonder what is truly happening behind the scenes with the infamous 27 Club. In a separate interview with Vlad TV, Too Short doubled down, insisting that the math surrounding Pimp C's death simply didn't add up.
But then it's like, I heard some shit about he had his clothes on or something. I don't know. Like, I don't really know if all this is true, but I just heard parts like, I'm like, what happened to my guy?
Right.
And then they come out with the official. It was a mixture of some stuff, the prescription and something else or something that I don't really know. But with me, I never really heard something that would give that closure for me. I never really heard anything tangible or true, like what happened to my guy.
Now we have to unpack the explosive dynamic between Pimp C and Beyoncé, because this rabbit hole is endlessly deep. While there are rampant theories that a very powerful industry figure wanted Pimp C eliminated, one undeniable fact is that Pimp C absolutely despised Jay-Z. We know this for a fact thanks to an episode of The Art of Dialogue, where record executive Greg Taylor recounted an incredibly hostile phone call between Jay-Z and Pimp. The story goes that shortly after the massive Big Pimpin' collaboration was finalized, Taylor called Pimp C. Unfortunately, the call was on speakerphone, and the moment Taylor delivered the news, Pimp C blatantly and ruthlessly dissed Jay-Z right to his face.
He set it up a meeting to go meet with Dame Dash. So we go, after I leave Java, go to Rock, to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He was like, no. He said, we want to UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys.
That's right.
So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. Okay, they was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what was going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check to go give it to Tupac Mama, man.
Listen to this. Pimp C actually turned down a staggering $1 million check from Jay-Z's label because he was convinced they were trying to rob him blind, explicitly telling them to take that money and hand it to Tupac's mother instead. Let that sink in. What exactly is the hidden connection between Jay-Z and Tupac? And why would Pimp specifically demand the money go to Tupac's mom? The truth is, Pimp C was a loud, fearless truth teller who refused to play the industry's twisted games. He called out the elites and didn't care who you were. Diddy, Jay-Z, nobody was safe from his wrath. And we all know the industry, especially titans like Jay and Diddy, absolutely loathe unpredictable artists who refuse to stay quiet. Add in the explosive allegation that he was hooking up with Beyoncé and allegedly filmed a tape with her. If that wasn't the ultimate recipe to have a target painted on his back, I don't know what is. Speaking of his relationship with Beyoncé, Bun B once shared a wild story about a studio session. Pimp C and Beyoncé were both in the studio when Jay-Z called in to check on who was in the room. When Jay found out Beyoncé was wearing a highly provocative outfit, he immediately panicked and demanded that every single man in the room, especially Pimp C, be immediately kicked out.
He's like, wait a minute, how many dudes are there? And so she's like, oh, it's about 9 or 10 guys, I guess, over there. Where are they now? They're in here, they're in the soundstage, they're kind of watching, watching her film. What is she wearing? They describe the outfit, and he's like, yo, clear the room.
Wow.
So they immediately come over to us, and they kick all of us out, and send us up to our dressing rooms.
Wow.
And we're told to stay there.
Wow.
Until we have to shoot.
Okay.
We're not allowed to watch Beyonce dance
That was the
anymore
end of that.
in the video.
In fact, Bun B also vividly remembered a deeply uncomfortable moment when Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, directly cornered Pimp C and explicitly warned him to stay far away from his daughter.
Matthew Knowles comes in and he asks Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes and Pimp comes in and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Knowles just told me don't f his daughter, man. Please don't. Please don't f my daughter.
So, word on the street is that this alleged tape is just the tip of the iceberg regarding what could be exposed if Beyoncé is forced to testify. But we also know she is heavily entangled in the horrific Diddy and Epstein sagas. There are explosive reports that Cassie's initial monumental lawsuit actually directly implicated both Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Rumor has it that Cassie's original filing was a staggering 60 pages long, but it was suspiciously whittled down to just 35 pages before hitting the public. Insiders claim those missing 25 pages contain devastating allegations about the Carters. Specifically, the lawsuit allegedly detailed a horrifying incident at a Diddy party where Jay-Z and Beyoncé stood by and watched Diddy violently strike Cassie, shoving her to the ground. According to the rumored documents, a terrified Cassie fled upstairs, locking herself in a bedroom to escape. Diddy's security aggressively tracked her down, and it took Cassie over 30 minutes to pull herself together. When she finally attempted to quietly leave the party, she was reportedly intercepted by Beyoncé and Jessica Alba, who were waiting in the foyer. Cassie allegedly noted that Beyoncé looked visibly shaken. As Diddy and Jay-Z approached them, Beyoncé reportedly lost her mind, screaming at Diddy that his behavior was repulsive and entirely unacceptable. The confrontation was allegedly so intense that Diddy actually dropped to his knees to beg forgiveness from Cassie, Beyoncé, and Jessica. Beyoncé was also reportedly furious with her husband, screaming at Jay-Z for comforting Diddy instead of checking him for putting his hands on a woman. She allegedly looked Jay in the eye and told him she was rapidly losing respect for him. Following the brutal altercation, Beyoncé, Cassie, Jessica Alba, and roughly 25 other guests immediately evacuated the party. However, Cassie reportedly refused to leave with Beyoncé, knowing that if she did, Diddy would easily use his deep ties with Jay-Z to track her down. And we cannot forget the chilling claims made by Jaguar Wright, who publicly branded Jay-Z and Beyoncé a nasty couple. She accused them of holding people completely against their will, drugging them, and loading their unconscious bodies onto private jets to illegally transport them across borders.
Potentially, do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting air tag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
On top of all of this, there are dark, persistent whispers that Beyoncé actively participated in Diddy's infamous freak-offs. Like I said, there is a massive amount of trauma and conspiracy to unpack here. But the ultimate burning question remains: could Jay-Z have orchestrated Pimp C's untimely death? While there is no definitive hard proof, the chilling whispers have never faded. And with Diddy's empire crumbling to the ground, could this massive cover-up finally be blown wide open? Absolutely. Because the moment one major domino falls, the entire corrupt structure is guaranteed to collapse. I highly doubt Beyoncé and Jay-Z will be able to keep their terrifying skeletons locked in the closet if they are forced to take the stand under oath. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the Carters can buy their way out of this nightmare? Or is their downfall finally here? Let me know your theories in the comments section below.